Greetings. This is Dr. T from Tucson Functional Medicine, continuing our little video series on each one of the tests that we do here in Tucson Functional Medicine. I get asked a question all the time: why does functional medicine doctors do different tests than my traditional medical doctor? Well, this test that we're going to talk about today is actually the same test that your traditional medical doctor does. This is the blood chemistry analysis test. We just go into a lot more detail on it than a traditional medical doctor, and we're looking at it from a different perspective. So we are going to be dealing with a chemical or a blood chemistry analysis test today. Now, if you have subscribed to my channel, thank you and welcome back. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. Hit the subscribe button, and there's a little bell next to the subscribe button. And if you click that, you'll get a notice every time we upload something to our channel. One other thing, and at TucsonFunctionalMedicine.com, we do a webinar every month. We have already scheduled, we're in 2020 right now, so we have already scheduled all of 2020 for our webinar. So if you go to my website, TucsonFunctionalMedicine.com, you will find in the menu at the top, one of the options is About Us. And in the drop-down menu from that, there is one that says Dr. T's teaching schedule. And if you click on that, it'll show you all the webinars that we have scheduled this year already, topic. And underneath each one of the topics is a link that you can hit and go register for it. So if the topic is interesting to you, go ahead and register for the webinar. Even if you can't go to the webinar, but you're still interested, if you register, we will send you the link for the replay at the after it's done, so you can watch it. As I tell you, each one of these videos, I register for a lot of webinars that I never go to, but they send me the link for the replay, and then I go watch it when it's convenient to me. So same thing here. The other thing is, on that top menu, there is an option, drop-down menu, and it says book an appointment. We've created a free 30-minute discovery appointment. And this gives you an opportunity to figure out if functional medicine is a good option for you. Some people think it is, and then when they get into it and find out more about it, that it isn't for them, or this is exactly what they've been looking for. And you shouldn't be expending money to find out if this is a good fit for you. So we're in the coronavirus time right now here in the world, but America for sure. And we do a lot of our communicating with patients across the United States and the world through Zoom, telemed. Functional medicine world has been using telemed for a long time. The traditional medical model never really did, but you're starting to hear about it now because of the coronavirus. And so people are staying home, and you can, on that section of the website, book an appointment. You can book an in-office appointment if you would like to come in here, or you can book a Zoom call. We use Zoom as our web, telemed platform, I guess. And so we have patients all over the United States, patients all over the world. You do not have to be in Tucson or Arizona or even the US to be a patient. And this gives you an opportunity to explore and find out if this is a good option for you. So welcome, and let's get going. So with 60% of Americans having a chronic disease, people are wasting more and more time in doctors' waiting rooms. Tucson Functional Medicine offers health programs to get to the cause of your health issues, so you spend less time in waiting rooms and more time enjoying the quality of life that you deserve. That's the fundamental difference between traditional medicine and functional medicine. Traditional medicine is about the disease, it's about keeping you alive, and that is important. That is very, very important, because the functional medicine doctor is about your quality of life, about your body, the way it is functioning. That's why it's called functional medicine. But if you're not alive, functional medicine doesn't matter. But if you are alive, then your quality of life and your function matters. And we need to put these two things together, because by their own admission, the traditional medical doctors' admission, they're losing the battle on chronic disease. And this is killing most Americans every single year. So they do very, very well with putting my bones back together after a car accident, infections, surgery, stuff. And we need that. But we need a new model for chronic disease. And I call functional medicine healthcare 2.0. We need them to work together so that we not only are alive, but we have a great quality of life. And this is how we approach at our clinic. This is how we approach the body. And I thank Dr. Daniel Kalish for this. When I got out of functional medicine school, I had all this knowledge, but I didn't really know how to put it together. And he created this flow. This is how the body usually breaks down, and this is how we do it. So thank you, Dr. Kalish, for this, this pattern and this path. So we start with the neuroendocrine system. Neuro is brain, endocrine is like your pituitary. And the neuroendocrine system tells everything else how to do its job. So then we move to the GI system. Hippocrates said, all disease begins in the gut. I do believe that. But if you don't work and help the neuroendocrine system first, all the work you do in the GI system will never last. It will never stay. Then we move to the detoxification. So 90% of the time, this is the pattern we use. Sometimes we switch it around a little bit, depending upon what the patient comes in for. But this is a clear, concise way to methodically go through the body. So all testing is just the body's way of telling us what's going on. One of the big differences with functional medicine is we spend the time with you to actually listen to you tell us what's going on in your body. Nobody knows your body better than you. Nobody. And your body knows your body better than anybody else too. So we listen to you. You may not know the biochemistry and the science of what's going on, but you know the day in and day out way you feel, what's not working, what is working, things like that. And then the body, we ask the body to tell us what's going on, and the body does. And so today we're going to talk about the comprehensive blood chemistry analysis test. Now, these are the 5 tests that we run as a foundation. There are other tests if we need to run them, but these is the foundation. Most functional medicine doctors that I know use these tests. They may use some other ones sometimes too, but these are the basic foundational tests. So today we're going to talk about the blood analysis. So this is a standard blood test, okay? It's just much more in depth. And it also looks at it from a functional medicine point of view. So we take a 3 to 5 page report that if you get a copy of your blood work, it just gives you a bunch of names, an H or an L, it's high or low, your range, and then what your number, and then what the range is. And it doesn't really tell you a lot, right? You rarely even hear anything about your blood work unless something is wrong. We use the blood work as a way to help prevent disease, not discover disease. So you'll see right here, this is the traditional doctor view. This is the functional medicine doctor view. So if you ever wonder about which one we're talking about, just look over here at the little blood guy's clipboard and it'll tell you. So the medical doctors assume that 95% of people are normal. 2.5 are high and 2.5 are low. Now, if you've ever been to any place where there's more than 100 people, 95% of those people are not normal. But the medical doctors are looking for disease. That's their focus. So they use some different numbers looking at the blood analysis than we do. We assume 60% are normal, 17.5% are above the optimal, and then 2.5 is high, 17.5% is below optimal, and then 2.5 is low. Our goal is to catch it when it's in that above or below optimal and get it turned around and back to the normal before it even has a chance to cause a disease. So I'm going to give you some examples in the differences of the traditional model. So this is the traditional, you can see that on the clipboard, and what the functional medicine view. Just going to give you a few of these so you have a little bit of an understanding. So on the fasting blood sugar from a medical doctor, traditional doctors, they don't really make much noise unless your number gets above 100. And the 100 is because that's the level to be diagnosed as a diabetic with your fasting blood sugar. So if you go in and your blood sugar is 98, you probably won't hear a word about it because it'll just come back normal as far as they're concerned. What we do, the research actually shows that when your fasting blood sugar levels get over 86, you're actually causing damage in the human body. And so because we're looking for optimal function and the prevention of disease, we start reacting. And so our upper level of normal would be 86. not 100 like the traditional medical doctors. Because if it gets to 89, we want to get it back down below 86, so the damage that is going on when that number is above 86 isn't happening anymore, and prevent disease. So heart health, your traditional doctor looks at your cholesterol level, and then he takes into factor the additional risk, your blood pressure, your weight, do you smoke, stuff like that. But basically from a blood work perspective, they're predominantly looking at your cholesterol level. Now in our channel here on YouTube, we have a whole video, an hour long, on just cholesterol, because almost all the research that was ever done to prove that cholesterol is horrible and cholesterol drugs are saving lives isn't really based on the truth. And we go through that in the other one. So what do we look at? The traditional, or the functional medicine doctor, sorry. In the blood work, we look at cholesterol, we look at homocysteine, we look at CRP, and we look at fibrinogen. These are the markers that we look at. Homocysteine, CRP, and fibrinogen is what a lot of the world, those are the primary markers that they look at for heart health. And we look at them too. We don't ignore cholesterol, but we look at cholesterol, but we also look at the inflammation, the damage that is actually going on to the heart. And of course, we look at the additional risk factors also, blood pressure, weight, smoking, etc., things like that. We just look at more things from the blood work to give us a picture of your heart health. Thyroid. Your traditional doctor will run TSH. That's what they run. Well, the functional medicine doctor runs, we look at TSH also, but we also look at free T4, free T3, total T4, total T3. And if we think that you possibly might have Hashimoto's disease, we run the antibody test also to see about that. Basically, the traditional medical blood report is what you see right here on your screen, okay? You get the name of whatever the test is, what your result is, right? Then you get it's low or it's high. Oops, sorry about that. Then whether it's low or whether it's high, and then the normal range, okay? And that's what you get, right? And if you get the report, you really have to ask for it, but if you get it, this is a 3-4 page report, probably at the most. And then what do? And you have to go spend time at home, sitting at your computer, looking up all the numbers that are out of the normal range. They're either high or they're low. What does that mean? What does it tell me? What we actually do is we do that work for you. We put together a report to teach you about your blood results. So one of the tenets of functional medicine is to teach you to need me less. Health doesn't come from the fact that you come and see me. Health comes from the fact that you understand health. You don't need to know all the biochemistry. You don't need to know how your TV works to enjoy it, but you do need to know that these numbers and how do I make these numbers better and stuff like that. And that's what we actually want to do. We don't want you to take a bunch of pills, even if they're over-the-counter pills, forever. We don't want you to keep having to come in here and see the doctor all the time. So we do the work for you. We put together a report that teaches you about your blood results. We give you suggestions about what your blood work actually means. What does it mean when this is high? We give you suggestions of things you can do based on your blood results. So this is an example of one of the pages. And what's great about this report is we can start comparing results. So here what we have is this was taken June 14th and this was taken January 27th. And so what happens is we start to compare these. So the insulin fasting, 6.8, 2.0. So that number got worse, right? It was 2.8 or 2.0, sorry, and now it's 6.8. And so the number got worse. So we give you the old Facebook thing, thumb up or thumb down, right? And the other thing that makes this report wonderful is we can compare 7 blood works at a time, okay? And so then you get a little graph and it shows you over the last 7 blood works, are we staying within normal range? Are we getting out of normal range? How did we get out here? And then we got back down to normal. And it really gives you an idea of looking to see how your overall blood work is doing when we start comparing them, okay? So, and again, this is what we were telling you earlier. We have the optimal range, right? We have the above the standard or above the optimal, below optimal. And then we have the, we have the above optimal range. That's your 17.5 is here. This is your 2.5. And then we have alarmingly high or alarmingly low. If the number's really out of control, we give you a little triangle with an exclamation point in it to really pay attention to these numbers. We also, this is another example of another page of the report. The great thing about this is the PDF actually is hyperlinked. So here for blood sugar index, if this was a PDF, you could just click on that blood sugar and it would take you to the portion of the blood report that is all about blood sugar. What references are they looking about blood sugar, and what are they doing? Here's adrenal function, sex hormones, thyroids, liver. So all of these are hyperlinked so that you can zip around inside the report and kind of put the report together. We also give a listing of, if this is high, what does it mean? That's what you're doing. If you take your blood work home and you look up everything that's high or low, we've already done it. In the report, it actually tells you, well, this was high and this is what it means. This was high, this is what it means. And we just go through the whole report, because your blood work should be a way to educate you to be healthier. And what does this mean? And all those kind of things. So that just gives you a little bit of an understanding of how a blood work is approached from a functional medicine perspective. So in this little playlist on our YouTube channel, we've looked at all 5 of the reports now. We have 10, 15-minute movies on each one of the reports. And this just gives you a little bit of an idea. So if you ever would like to have one of these, if you'd like to have this blood report done from a functional medicine perspective, just contact me through the website, call the office, and it will just allow you, we can just have it run. We use LabCorp, so there's LabCorps all over the United States, doesn't matter where you are, and then the tests are run, and then we send you the results, and then we sit down with a Zoom call, the program we're using to record this right now, and we get together and we talk, we share the screen, show you your report, you've got your report in front of you. You don't have to be in the same office anymore. So hopefully this helps you understand the CBC a little bit better, at least from a functional medicine perspective. We try to give you some examples of the ways they look at it, the ways the functional medicine doctor looks at it. So again, thank you for attending and watching this, and hopefully it helps you understand a little bit more of your health picture.